Welcome to Highline Excel 2016 class video number 21. Hey, if you want to download this file, Business 218 Video 21 Start, or the finished file, or the PDF files, and follow along, click on the link below the video. Hey, in this video, we're still talking about Power Query, known as Get and Transform in Excel 2016. Last video, we saw how to import multiple Excel workbooks, but in that example, we had one sheet from each workbook we wanted. And in this video, we want multiple sheets. Not only that, but we're going to have to create a city column in our final data set and get the city names from the Excel file names. And each sheet in each Excel workbook that has data has the sales rep name. And we need to create a sales rep column and get the names for the different sales rep from the worksheet names. Now, last video, we saw how to use Excel.workbook, but we didn't use the second argument, which is true. And it actually has to be in lowercase, not uppercase. This argument in the Excel.workbook function will not only get all the content, but it will also, by putting lowercase true, will promote the headers. If you remember last video, we had to do it manually. All right, let's see how to do this. But first, let's go look at the files we have. Here they are, 3 Excel files, and each file represents sales from different cities. So the store in Grainville, the store in Kitsap, and the store in Othello. So we will have to extract those names and repeat those names in a city column. Let's go look at one of these files. In each file, there will be date, product, and sales columns. But look down here, Gardenia, Sheila Dawn, and Min. Each different sheet has different sales records for each one of the different sales reps. So there's sales rep Min, Sheila Dawn, and Gardenia. Now, this Excel file, of course, has the first row as field names, right? So we're going to see how to use that lowercase true in Excel.workbook to automatically promote these. Let's go look at one more file, Kitsap. So again, these field names, by using lowercase true, will be promoted. And each one of the sheets, Timmy, Chin, and Tyrone, will have to extract those sheet names and repeat them for the particular sales rep. So let's close this, go back to our start file. Now we need to import those 3 Excel files. We go to Data, Get and Transform, New Query, From File, From Folder. We want to browse, so I'm going to click the Browse button. And when you download your files, there's a zipped folder called Video 21 3 Excel Workbooks. When you unzip it, there it is. We're telling Power Query to import anything in that folder. I'm going to click OK. Click OK. There's the Edit button. I'm going to click this. You might not see that intermediate step depending on what updated version of Power Query you have. Now there's all the information about the files. We immediately want to come over and give this a smart name. Something like City Sales Rep, Import, and Enter. Now we have a bunch of columns with information about the files. Last video, we actually filtered to say contains .xlsx, but this is a one-time import, and we don't have any other files besides .xlsx, so we don't need that column. We do need to click on Name and extract the city name from each one of these file names. I'm simply going to notice the pattern store.xlsx, store.xlsx. We can simply search and replace that with nothing. So we highlight it, Home, Transform, and there's Replace Values. Find what? Store.xlsx. I'm going to replace it with nothing. Click OK. There we have city name for each one of our files. Now, we don't need any of these other files, so name is selected. I hold Shift, click on Content. We need these 2 columns, so I right-click, remove other columns. There's our content, but we click that little double arrow only when we have text files. We have Excel files with lots of different objects, so we go to Add Column, Add Custom Column. And I'm going to call this new column Get Excel Data Tab. And just like last video, we'll use this smartly named function, Excel dot workbook, open parentheses. Now we're going to double click content, and there it is in square brackets. That's this column over here, content. And now we do comma, and in the second argument we type true in lowercase, close parentheses. That true will automatically promote the headers. Now we have our formula. We click OK. There's our tables from our Excel data. If we click on each one of these, you can see a preview down here. Click on each one, we see a preview, including those promoted field names at the top of each data set. Now, we're going to click this expand button because we still have some objects we need to filter out. I want to uncheck use original column name as prefix because I don't want that get external data. There's our different columns that we can use for filtering out objects like table, define name, and so on. I'm going to click OK. And there are all of our columns. Now, hidden column. Last video, we had some hidden objects. Here we don't, but we don't need to mess with that. Kind. We can see we have sheets. There's a table. There's a define name. I want to filter this to only include sheets. So I click Select All, and then Sheet. Click OK. So now we've filtered only showing the sheets. Now the item column tells us the names of certain sheets. We can see our sales rep names. But there's a sheet. Here's all the sales rep. So I want to filter out any sheet that contains the word sheet, which is the default name. So I'm going to click the drop down. Text filters. And I want to say, please only keep sheet names when the sheet name does not contain sheet. Now, hopefully, we don't have any sales reps named sheet. We don't, so this will be OK. Click OK. And there we filtered out all of the sheets that contain the word sheet. Now, these are going to be our sales rep names. Here's our data, and here's our city name. So I'm going to click on city name, data, and item using the Control key. Then I right-click, remove other columns. Now here's our sales reps. I'm going to double-click item and call this sales rep and enter. For city, I'm going to double-click name and then type city and enter. Now I can click my expand button. Date, product, and sales. Those are the promoted field names. Click OK. Now we're almost done. We need to click on city and make sure home over here in data type, I want it to be text. Date, I want the data type to be date. Product, I want to make sure it's text. Sales, I'm going to say, hey, please use data type decimal number, and sales rep will be data type text. We have all of our steps. There's our name. We have our data types. I'm going to click Close and Load, which will accept the default, which is please put this as an Excel table on a new sheet. I'm going to come down here, double-click Sheet, and call it Data, and Enter. And there it is. There's our imported data from those 3 Excel files. Over here, we can see our workbook query has 3,533 rows. Now, here's the data. You can analyze it how you want. All right, in this video, we saw how to import 3 Excel files and automatically promote the headers using the Excel.workbook function. And second argument, little true, we saw how to extract city name from the file name and sales rep name from the sheet tab names. All right, we'll see you next video.